Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. We got a whole bunch of sugar honey iced tea to talk about today. The main ICE shooting and protesters getting out of control. Nolan Wells, coach, finally speaks out. When I say finally, it doesn't mean he had to, but they finally got in touch with him. And I think that what he said is very revealing. And you know Al's sharp tongue, there ain't been nothing but pimping the black community since he was fat. Now he's skinny, look like a bobblehead. He has something to say, too, and I got to break that down. But first, we're going to talk about the conspiracy about something I said on Piers Morgan. These people are lying. They're evil. I'm going to show you all the context, and every single person that wrote some post about me saying that I said black people were better during slavery. Here is your opportunity to apologize. Welcome to the show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country. Welcome back. I got to make me some Synergy real quick. For some reason, I don't like sleeping at night, even though I take the sleep drink, which helps me not be a zombie every day. But it would be helpful to get more than 4 or 5 hours of sleep, no matter if you're taking Synergy or not. But anyway, get you some of this Synergy, man. Let's get into it. First of all, for you Cyrus son of a guns that's so jealous of me that you got to make up fake stuff online claiming that I said something I did not say. Now, I'm finna prove to the world and whoever's watching and all that foolishness that's out there that I had never in my life say that I believe that black people were better during slavery. I never said that one bit. I'm gonna give you guys the context that they would leave out. It's to the point where I chastised the guy on the show for claiming that Charlie said it. Then he had to apologize for it because he lied. All right. Let's play the clip that they won't show because they hate your boy. But when you got the truth on your side, this stuff is easy. Roll the clip.
Brandon, Charlie Kirk said black men like you were better off during slavery. Do you agree with him?
Now listen, 100%.
You believe 100%?
Now what? Wait,
you were
after
better off
slavery. Let
so
me
you're
explain
saying
because
you would
maybe
be
you don't
better
know
off
black history.
during slavery.
No. You don't understand black history and you don't understand what Charlie was saying. Listen, after slavery, there was an explosion. I want you guys to understand what the context was. I didn't hear exactly what he said because he's such a nut. I didn't even catch that he said during slavery. Nobody would ever say that. Nobody has ever said that. And that's never something Charlie Kirk would ever said. But he asked me, did I agree with Charlie? I didn't hear him say during slavery. And I said 100% I do. And I go on to explain it in the clip that people are showing. After slavery, this is what happened. Now, I'm going to go back to play it so y'all can hear the context, and I'm not going to break it up. I just had to explain that part because I really didn't hear what he said, to be honest. I just know he said something about Charlie after slavery is what I thought he said, and I acquiesced to that. Let's go back and start the clip up from the top, and then we're going to play it straight through. Roll it.
Brandon, Charlie Kirk said black men like you were better off during slavery. Do you agree with him?
Now, listen, 100%.
You believe 100%?
Now what? Wait,
you were
after
better off
slavery, let
so
me
you're
explain
saying
because
you would
maybe
be
you don't
better
know
off
black history.
during slavery.
No. You don't understand black history and you don't understand what Charlie was saying. Listen, after slavery, there was an explosion of success in the black community. We had Black Wall Street. We were married to the women we had children with. Black people had a tremendous amount of success. Our success was growing faster than white people during that period of time. Now look at us. Now go look at any inner city in this country and you see people getting murdered every weekend. The leading cause of murders in this country is by black people. Violent crimes, black people. Abortion at disproportionate rates, black people. A lot of things that were going well in our communities is going downhill fast after the 60s. And it's because we've been voting for these sorry Democrats for so many years and they've done nothing for black people. And you cannot tell me, as somebody who knew Charlie, that he was a racist. He wasn't. I knew him very well. We did a whole bunch of incredible things in the black community. He helped out with Blexit, our black nonprofit that helped the black community. We took 400 black conservatives to the White House for the first time in history. So don't you say nothing about Charlie being a racist unless you have evidence. Outside of that, you're lying and you're pushing conspiracies that got Charlie Kirk killed. Why they don't play the whole clip? Why they just play the clip where clearly me and him wasn't on the same page when I had made mention that I agreed with Charlie? Here's other evidence. Exhibit B, roll it. Do you think that Charlie Kirk was a racist?
Yes, he said that black people were better off during slavery.
No. Do you think that Charlie Kirk spewed hatred?
Bruh.
Yeah, I'll say it to you. He thought you, as a black man, were better off during slavery.
The foolery that you're saying right now is what got him killed. The leftist nut jobs pushing the same stupidity that you're saying right now is the reason why Tyler Robinson killed Charlie. This is exactly the same thing. You should be condemned.
You can't criticize
for saying
somebody?
something silly.
So you're saying
you can't lie. You cannot lie about
any
them.
criticism, if you level any criticism of somebody, then you are responsible for their death?
You can't lie about them. The lies is what caused a person like Tyler Robinson to kill Charlie. Lies. He was not racist. He was not hateful. He did not spew hate. He was a man of courage. He had integrity, and he was fair. If you disagree with him, he let you come to the front of the line, and you can have your disagreement. All right, so this is what I'm saying. These fools are lying about Charlie. And the whole premise was they were saying that MAGA was the reason that all the violence happened. We say these leftist nut jobs are actually killing people because of lies, not because of a true disagreement. To say that Charlie was a racist is foolish. Now listen to this nut job, because they don't play this clip in the same show. The same response. They don't play the clip because they jealous of me. And they want me to say something I didn't say. Now, I'm finna clarify one more time. And this fool's gonna get fact-checked, and I bet him $1,000 that he was wrong about it. And nobody plays the fact that I did that he got fact-checked, because y'all haters, bro. But we got the evidence. Roll it.
Charlie Kirk, your friend, said you, as a black man, were better off during slavery. Do you agree with that statement?
100%, I understand what he was saying. I just articulated to you the perspective that he had. Just because you don't understand history and you look at everything in the lens as black people are the ultimate victims in perpetuity, don't mean that Charlie Kirk can have an expression of something I agree with him on. Now, you're sitting here trying to tell a black man that I can't agree with Charlie Kirk on the fact that I think that black people were in a better trajectory when we were in the 30s
during
after
slavery.
He didn't say during slavery. You're lying. He said after slavery.
You were better off during slavery.
No, he did not. Show me the proof, and I'll give you $1,000.
Flashback. This shows they were actually better in the 1940s. Better in the 1940s. Better in the 1940s.
If you don't know, the 1940s, way after slavery, like 60 years after slavery. Anyway.
It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid. I mean, 4,000 black men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
That's your explanation.
Time out. Listen to this. You see the little stew head here? She go 4,000 black men, 4,200 black men were killed in the 68-year legacy of lynching. 2,200 white men were lynched during the historical period of lynching, 68 years. There's more black people get murdered by other black people in half a month, in 2 weeks. Oh no, 6 months. Sorry, I'm getting my numbers confused. So there's more black people that get murdered in a 6-month period in this country than the entire legacy of lynching in 68 years. So I understand, lynching was bad. I agree. But why don't these people ever mention that 2,000 white people were lynched as well, and then there's more black people that get killed by other black people in a 6-month period than the entire 68-year history of lynching? But they don't know their history, and they don't know what Charlie was talking about, because you see Charlie had a big old head, man. There's a lot of brain in there. You see her little peanut head? She ain't got no brains in there. Charlie had a mega computer. These people floating on emotions. Roll the clip.
Racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is worse than it has been
that affected
in the last 80 years.
The generational psyche of an entire group of people?
No, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that.
Ain't no way in the world Charlie said we're better in slavery. He said after slavery. It's a whole sentiment around it. And black people understand this. History reflects this. Thomas Sowell expressed this. Black people were in a trajectory on a path doing better than white people. Anybody can fact check that.
I'm going to check, actually, in real time, whether Charlie Kirk did say that black people were better in the time of slavery.
One eternity later.
Charlie Kirk did not say that black people were better off in slavery. There was a manipulated video clip circulating on social media that created that false impression. This originated from a September 2024 debate hosted by Jubilee Media. During the debate, he discussed historical periods of subjugation, specifically pointing to black communities under Jim Crow laws in the 1940s. What he actually argued, he said that during the 1940s, black communities had lower crime rates and greater family stability than they do today. He used this rhetorically to argue against the idea that systemic oppression or poverty are the only drivers of crime. He asserted that if oppression directly caused high crime, crime rates would have been sky high during eras of severe oppression, which he claimed historical data did not show. So, he's not saying that black people were better off in slavery, clearly.
But during segregation.
Well, no, he's not. He's talking about periods in the 1940s.
So let's just put a nail in this coffin, okay? Clearly, I never said black people were doing better during slavery. Clearly, Charlie Kirk did not say that. We proved that on the show, which means there's no way in the world that Brandon Tatum agreed with Charlie Kirk saying something Charlie Kirk never said. So the sentiment was, post-slavery, black people were on a trajectory doing much better than white people were. And without the obstructions and black people falling off a cliff, voting for these Democrats, listening to people like Martin Luther King, putting the government as your baby daddy and your God. If it had not been for those things that black people end up doing to themselves, in part, I think there was some influx from other things that have happened in this country that negatively affected black people that were outside of their control. But by and large, the things that black people did has put us on a trajectory where we are now the worst common denominator as a whole, not individually, because I'm doing well. All the same black people are doing well. We making money. We love our country. We doing good. I'm talking about the nut jobs, which is unfortunate. I think is majority of black people at this point. Is what are we doing? Where are we raising our kids? These schools, these YNs doing teen takeovers, the crime, the drugs, the incarceration, you name it. That wasn't the trajectory of black people post-slavery. It is now. And so that's all Charlie was saying. And then let me make this point because I think it's invaluable. The other point Charlie made is that people are saying because of racism, that's the reason why black people were doing poorly. And what Charlie said was that post-slavery, right after slavery, which is the height of black oppression, black people still excelled and did well. And then Jim Crow, which is an exemplification of I would say racism or prejudice, obstruction of black success, black people still did better, meaning we were married, the crime rate wasn't what it was, we were still on a trajectory of success, we had our own schools, we had our own transportation, we had our own shows, we had our own genre of music, and it wasn't that degenerate foolery. Martin Luther King and them had suits on, and we believed in the preacher was the biggest pillar of the community, not athletes. All of these things happened even during oppression. So you can't say oppression is the cause of what's happening today because we have the absence of oppression. The most oppressive time in black history, and also the time right after slavery, we had better numbers and trajectory than we do today without any of that being a factor. And a lot of times people need to take personal responsibility and quit blaming everybody. All right. I put he apologized, didn't he? Go show his apology. Roll it.
So during segregation, and he was also against the civil rights
movement. You said slavery.
So I will.
Why are you changing the goalposts?
Wait. I'll do something in real time.
Take the loss with Jaya. You've literally spewed a conspiracy theory that came from a manipulated video which perpetrated a false impression of what Charlie Kirk actually said.
I'll do it in real time, something that Jack and Brandon can do. Thank you for fact-checking. I saw that video. You fact-checked it. I stand corrected.
Okay,
but
good.
The fact show
do you apologize?
Yeah, right? But the fact show
do you apologize?
That he said black people are better off during segregation and
Don't
he was
change
against the civil rights movement.
Do you apologize?
Absolutely. You fact-checked it. Thank you so much. But he did say black people are better off during segregation and he opposed the civil rights movement.
To apologize, you actually have to say, I'm sorry.
I would have to leave. am sorry. I probably saw that same video. This is what happens
good.
on the internet.
All right, we're
Thank
getting
you
somewhere.
for fact checking.
We're getting
Thank
somewhere.
you for fact checking.
I enjoy making them look bad. These people are stupid. So when you see people floating this bullcrap out there, it's all bullcrap. All right, go back and refer to this video. All right, let's get to the young boy Nolan Wells and his coach. Like I'm telling you, let me just frame this real quick as we get into this. I am getting more and more upset with Nolan's parents and these activists. I'm getting more and more upset because I feel like that they're doing this young man a disservice by pushing racism where it's not necessary. And there is no reason for you to be trying to have justice in a criminal proceeding for you to have a civil rights attorney represent you. You need to have a criminal law attorney representing you. That's like me going and somebody slipping and falling at my headquarters, and I go hire a criminal attorney, a criminal defense attorney. Why would I need a criminal defense attorney if I'm dealing with a civil matter? If you want justice in a criminal justice system, which is somebody that's going to hold people accountable once they're arrested, if they did an investigation, true or false, whatever the case may be, you need a criminal defense attorney. Why would you get a civil rights attorney? You're not just getting a civil attorney, you're getting a civil rights attorney. Listen to the black coach and what he said about what happened. Roll it.
So, Tracy, what his parents think happened here? Do they believe this was just an unfortunate accident, tragedy, or that it's something more sinister?
I was in Ocean Springs when it happened, and I was still in disbelief when I got the news that Nolan was missing. So when I got all the details surrounding the case, that they told me he was out at Horn Island, and he came up missing or whatnot. I talked with his dad, and we just had conversation. That was kind of after the fact when they had found his body, because I was just giving the family their respect that they deserve, and when everything first took place. But I was sharing all the details that the family was sharing, just putting the word out there, and just so everybody could be on notice and everybody be paying attention.
What can you tell us about just Nolan as a human being?
Nolan was a great young man, with a big personality. Everybody gravitated to Nolan because of his smile. He just wanted everybody to be happy, and he was a joy to coach, a joy to be around. To sum Nolan up, long story short, Nolan is a guy that I would let date my daughter.
I mean, there were rumblings that he may have gotten into an argument, that there might have been a confrontation or something like that. I mean, was he a guy who would stand up, where, his hackles would go up, or was he more of a get-along type guy?
He's more of a get-along type guy. Don't get me wrong. Now, if something happened, he'll defend himself, but I knew right then in that video that wasn't Nolan.
One of the theories is that that he was drinking and that there was a riptide that day and that maybe he got caught in a bad current out there. Knowing him as an athlete, and we've heard that he did know how to swim, would that surprise you if he ended up in that situation?
I mean, it would surprise me, that happened, but like I said, man, I'm just waiting till the family, give out, details of what they done gathered.
Was there racial tension at this school?
No, I don't think it was no racial intention at the school, from my experience, because you have, predominant white school, you have black kids there, and they all, played and grew up together and got along. Now, some stuff might have happened that I didn't see, so, I can't speak wholeheartedly on it, but from what I did see, it was a tight-knit community, you know what I mean?
Hey, why interject race before you get any information? To me, let me just say this, and I know people gonna clip this and and I don't care. I really feel this way. I'm getting sick of black people, right? I like the black people like me and others that are conservative, that's smart, but the rest of y'all, I'm sick of y'all. It's hard to even want to be around black people, to be honest. Because you try to give them a pass, you try to be nice, you try to say, not every black person's like this. Yeah, no, people on TMZ ain't like this. Oh man, this person ain't like this. This person, man, they son done got killed and they pushing racism. This is the thing that bothers me. Like, we don't know what happened. They don't know what happened. They're doing an investigation. There was black kids there with him too. Why y'all act like y'all not even talking about the black kids, just the white ones? And then you got these people on here. Al Sharpton been pimping for I don't know how long. Y'all, that's why when black people make money, they move away from black people. They move to white neighborhoods. Let's keep it real. Y'all don't want to hear me say it, but I'm saying it. Where does LeBron live? They live where white people live. That coach just said, yeah, there's black kids. It's an all-white school. Everybody getting along. That's what happens at these white schools. White folks ain't worried about y'all like that. They doing their own thing. Every single white environment that I've been involved in, and ain't no drama. Nobody shooting, nobody stabbing, nobody hating on you, nobody doing none of that. White people doing their own thing. You put a bunch of black people together and they acting a fool. And I'm not saying it's every black person, but it seems like it's more prevalent than it is not. And I'm tired of it. Let's play this Al Sharpton crap that this fool doing. This is why people don't like black people. Even the girl that's talking on here. Like, when are y'all gonna get a better mind? This is such low energy, low vibration stuff. This is why black people are down here in society. Because our minds are down here. Everybody else's minds is just up here, thinking of greater things, thinking about how they're gonna take advantage of the American dream, and they're not pushing racism every day. They're trying to unite with people. They're building companies and businesses, and their kids are going to school and getting educated. Even the Africans that come over here, they believe in education and doing what's right and getting married and all this high vibration stuff. And y'all still down here, the white man. Roll the clip.
What more evidence do you think is needed for the sheriffs and the investigators to say that there is suspected foul play in this case?
I think that the evidence that is needed to build on is already there. Have they brought these 3 young men in for questioning under oath? Have they gone through a search of fingerprints and other things on the cell phone? Either they are doing policing or they're doing covering up. And that is why Ben Crump and Nash X Network and I got involved. The real unfortunate part is with this present administration in Washington, Donald Trump, you can't even say, as we've said historically, whether it was from Abner Louima in the 90s to George Floyd, a couple of years ago, we'll go get the feds. You can't get this Justice Department. What we can do, though, is go to state court and sue and depose these young men on what they were doing. So there's going to be a legal strategy that Ben Crump, who's the best at it, will do. I'm going to continue to stand with the family and mobilize people around the country so that this does not go off the minds of the American public.
Now, think to yourself, why are they attaching themselves to this case specifically? There's young black people that die every single day in this country, and many of them in violent ways. But they find ones that they can make money on. There's no evidence of foul play. And even if there was foul play, how do you figure it's got to do with race? Oh, because they're white people, and so they're evil. Come on, roll the clip.
Do you think race is playing a role in this case, and do you think race will play a role in the outcome of this case?
I will say this. I do not know that race played a role, but I do not know race did not play a role. So I think you've got to put all of that on the table. How does anybody say that, oh, no, race played no role unless you know the 3 guys and the 3 guys were forthcoming? I certainly think you got to look at the possibility of racism at different levels. 1, were any of the 3 guys racist? All right. 2, were the prosecutors and the enforcement when the body was found? Is there a racial double standard there? Many of us feel that there were 3 black guys and a white kid was missing. They would have held them probably in custody and certainly had them seriously under scrutiny on if it was the reverse. In our opinion. But the family has said they don't want to say race, but they don't want it taken off the table. How do we know particularly when you have a sheriff saying there was no foul play.
The sheriff did not declare there was no foul play. The sheriff claimed that there's no evidence of foul play at this point. I don't know why mindless people can't put these things together. There's a difference between no foul play, meaning that they made a determination that the crime is over. They're investigating. If they find a body in the water, they can't just start arresting people. It looks like he's drowned. They did an autopsy. It looks like there's no blunt force trauma or none of those other things. If the family got his body, they can do an autopsy. They're not trying to keep the body from the family. What? All right, we got a couple more clips. Roll it.
I am beginning to see a pattern, and I think that I hear parents in National Action Network. I hear parents that call my radio show saying, I'm telling my kids, don't go out with other people. I mean, people are just naturally becoming very apprehensive, and we shouldn't have to live like this. And unless there is a signal sent from the justice system that do some real justice in these cases, they will only intensify people's fear of even having social.
All right. I got to get on to the next story. But first and foremost, these people are evil. I want you to understand that these people are evil. George Floyd got swift justice. Why are they invoking the name of George Floyd? Zimmerman was under arrest until he was found not guilty in the court of law. I mean, you go down a list, who are you naming that didn't get justice? And then you're just presuming that because people are white, they can't do an investigation. They can't be impartial. And then you talking about, I talked to a bunch of black people. That's why black people ain't never gonna be nothing, generally speaking, with this mentality. I talked to black people, they saying, don't let their kids go with white people. That's what he said. I don't want my kids going with white people. Now, let a white person get on TV and say, I don't want my kids going with black people. Yeah. Let's get to the ICE raids. So this is the shooting that occurred. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I have no idea. We can't see nothing through this freaking surveillance that they got that's limited. I can brief it for you guys because there's really nothing there. This guy, I'll play it. We'll play it, no sound. Just play it in the background. Let me talk. There's nothing there. It looked like he almost get in an accident in the intersection. He's driving in circles. We don't know when he was shot. We can't tell. He's clearly going in circles in the intersection. So when people out here saying they shot him for no reason, I mean, you don't know. You can't see what he's doing. Clearly, the mother is not doing what he's not stopping. You got cops dragging all on the car around in circles because you won't stop. That's what you get. I don't care if it was right or wrong. That you got what you was gonna get. Now, we'll find out if the cops are going to go to jail or not based on if they did what was right or what was wrong, but I don't feel sorry for you. Driving in circles with cops hanging off your car. At what point do you just stop and say, let me just take what's coming? You driving in circles, trying to run over people, and then you get shot. That's on you, bruh. They ramming cop cars. Look, he just rammed that one. Then he got rammed, then rammed it again. So anyway, all I'm going to say is that I don't know who was right or wrong. I can't see the tactics. I can't see when they shot him. I can't see if it was legitimate use of force. I can't really see any of that. But what I will say is that you do see a person resisting. You do see a person driving while cops are trying to stop him in circles. And so there's no apparent, obvious deduction of findings from this because nobody really knows. I can't see anything. All right, let's go to the next clip. This is the bullet holes. Now, in the balance and fairness, some people say, look, the bullet holes in the front. Well, the side window is shattered, so bullet holes probably came through the side too. But you do see somebody shooting from the front of the car. That means somebody was in front of the car to be shooting from the front of the car. And I think that that's invaluable to evaluate. Now, here's what the Trump administration is doing about it. Roll it.
And we're also keeping a close eye on what's happening in Biddeford, Maine. There are growing protests in the street after the second deadly shooting by ICE in a week. Now, a change from the top. ICE pausing most traffic stops as a method of apprehension for now, until agents get increased training on these kinds of stops. According to sources, we're going to dig into exactly what's going on around that today. Homeland Security saying that the officer who opened fire in Maine yesterday was, this is a quote from them, fearing for public safety. We know that there are investigations that are underway right now into exactly what happened.
These people got so much more things that they could be doing with their life than sit out there singing and with signs that they pre-made from the last shooting. These people are evil, man. Some of them are evil intentionally. Some of them are doing evil vicariously through the stupidity that they listen to every day. But just so you guys know, they're not eliminating every traffic stop. They're only eliminating traffic stops unless it's probably a high-risk stop, which means they know the person committed a violent crime and they're going to stop him no matter what. Now, some of these other ones where they see a guy and there's ways around that. So, and I think that this should be a testament of how the administration is being fair. They're saying, hey, these things are happening. Let's slow down and make sure that we're correct in what we're doing before we move forward. That doesn't sound like Gestapo to me. They don't sound like Hitler to me. They don't sound like a dictator to me. They don't sound like a king to me. Other than that, they'd be like, I don't care. We just kill as many people as we can. Who cares? At least the administration is saying, look, let's make sure that we're trained. Maybe we need to get retrained. There's no reason for us to be shooting all these people. Maybe there's something that we can do on our end that's different. Here's Tom Holman speaking on it. Roll it.
Well, look, it's not a policy change. It's a temporary pause. Look, we had the last couple of shootings. ICE leadership along with DHS believes they want to look at these last couple of incidents and look, is there something that could have been done better? Is there any training that can be improved? Or it's simply ICE doing their job and bad things happen when people don't comply with law enforcement officers. So I think it's going to be a short pause. And I'm confident that ICE is well trained in vehicle stops, and you're going to see us keep moving forward. But this is just a temporary pause where they look at the incidents. But let me say this too: I hear a lot of noise right now. This is going to affect ICE arrests, and it's not going to. Look, I've done this for a long time. You can when that alien leaves his home before he gets into the car, you can arrest him then. You can wait till the vehicle gets to the destination and arrest him then. Every case is different. Now, we know vehicle assaults are up over 3,400%. So if we can arrest that alien outside that vehicle and take that 2-ton weapon away from them, that's good in some instances. Other instances, we're going to still need to do vehicle stops for a significant criminal. You may want to stop him in a desolate area before he gets downtown. You certainly don't want to stop a criminal alien near a school that in the middle of recess with 100 kids in the playground. Right. There are so many circumstances these agents need to look at to make these decisions. So I do not think this short pause can affect the arrest, because the alien can be arrested before or after that vehicle. But this is, what I understand, talking to the director of ICE, it's a short pause just to make sure we're doing the right thing.
Now, how y'all mad at that? And look at Bad Bill Betty up here. They always trying to add transgender stuff in there. I'm telling y'all, don't even know how people take these people serious. You can clearly see these people mentally ill. Look at that lady got a thigh on her arm. Big ham hock on her arm, built like a tray lunch. Look like SpongeBob and a tray lunch had a baby together. With a mask on. Looking like her daddy. Stop it. Roll the clip. Listen how stupid these people are.
You see ICE disappearing people in the streets. Will you get in the way? Yes! If you are charged with enforcing any part of the president's unlawful executive orders, will you resist? Yes! If your neighbor needs a place to hide, will you hide them? Yes!
Felony.
And right now, as the Maine legislature is trying to scapegoat transgender student athletes, bargaining long-held civil rights away in hopes that it will save Maine's federal funding, will you show up for them and say that our human rights aren't for sale? Yes!
She had to read an ad. She had to do an ad read. That fat, sloppy fool had to read an ad in the middle of her protest. These people are so stupid and evil. That's why I get on them the way I do. Look, here another nut job. Look at this Mexican lady.
ICE shot and killed this man this morning in Biddeford, Maine. I live in Maine, and let me tell you, ICE, you I hope someone takes you down. I hope somebody gets them all. You poor mother, you losers. You amounted to nothing in life, so you thought you were going to get a $50,000 bonus to hunt down immigrants. I hope you guys suffer in the hell pits. I hope you all die. I hope someone takes you the out. You don't deserve to live. You don't deserve to live. Why the are you shooting innocent people 8 times in the head? Renee Good, Alex Preddy, this poor man that had his 3-year-old daughter in the back of his car. You. I hope somebody takes you out. I hope somebody takes out these goddamn bastards that deserve nothing but to live like dogs and pigs forever.
These people got kids too. These people just doing their job. If you don't like them to do their job, then change the law. But this is how crazy these leftist nut jobs are. I feel like there should be a crime for her to be threatening violence against federal workers, to be quite honest. All right, listen to this fool. You know he was corny as a mud in school. No girls, no nothing. He's just corny. And now he trying to, I guess he's a politician trying to, dude, speak from the heart. Watch this guy do this whole thing, and he got to look at the teleprompter on the left side of the thing so he can have a speech. The corniest dude on planet Earth. Look at this fool.
If you don't think this is up, you don't know what it means to be an American. And every one of us should be angry right now in this moment and willing to stand up.
Billy, show more effort. That's what it sounds like. I hear somebody telling Billy, you got to be meaner. Say some cuss words, Billy. Please. Roll the clip.
For our values, the values that have always made this country great. And anyone who's just letting these MAGA autocrats get away with this needs to fight or get out of the way. It's time for us to stop this. So if you're on your way to Maine right now, thank you. If you're standing up and fighting in your community, thank you. If you're doing everything you can to protect our values, thank you. But if you're someone who can do more, then we need to do more. We need to do more right now because lives are on the line. Lives are getting lost. Because what, he used his Prius as a weapon at 2.5 miles an hour? That's just an excuse to shoot somebody. That's what's going on. These thugs want an excuse to shoot someone like they're patrolling the Warsaw Ghetto in 1941. That's bull, and it needs to stop.
Cuss more. Cuss more. Be aggressive. More hand gestures. Hand motions. Shut your corny self up. All these little weirdos, man. I got sick of these people, man. I wish we could separate from them. I wish they could live on this side of the country. We live on this side of the country. Like, we would be better off without these people in our society, to be quite honest. Because they're evil. And they're liars. And they're too stupid to look at anything factual to base their judgments on. And it's just making a beautiful country come crumbling down because we got a bunch of idiots that live here. I used to shoot people for no reason. They didn't shoot nobody for no reason. You don't even know what happened. You just automatically saying they shot. These people got families. They're normal people. A bunch of them are Hispanics that work for ICE and Border Patrol. And y'all just projecting that. Don't even know who shot these people. All right, y'all. I'm going on Lower Ingram tonight. And I got to get there here soon. Or tonight, in a couple hours for people that's on the West Coast. On the East Coast, it's a little later tonight. But anyway, I got to leave, so I can't do post-show because I have to do the Lower Ingram show. But I appreciate you. Love you guys. Before I end, Dolores, thank you so much for the super chat. We love you, Officer Tatum. I love you back. And thank you to all of you guys who are saying. It means a lot to me. I get so much hate online, and people are completely stupid and mindless and wasted oxygen on planet Earth. But to hear those of you who are bold enough to stand up for truth and stand up for your boy, I appreciate you from my heart. All right, we out of here.